Live once again right here on the Monday Morning Racer platform, as well as the competitionplus.com Facebook. I'm Lee Kraft, aka the Monday Morning Racer, and this is going to be the last installment for the March meet. It may be one of the best ones, though. Nitro Funny Car there at the March meet really is the headliner out there on that event card of drag racing for that historical meet. And they've got the 16-car field. They are the first round of eliminations to happen for the Nitro Burners there on Saturday evening and roll into Sunday. And it was Mike Peck who, at the end of the March meet for Nostalgia Nitro Funny Car, was the top man. He was the top flopper racer, picking up, from what I understand, his first Heritage Series win, first March meet win in Nitro Funny Car, a tremendous occasion for him. And if I may say, when you look at the competitors that are routinely in the Nitro Nostalgia Funny Car ranks, going into the March meet, we were talking about names such as John Capps, and obviously, and should have been, they were perfect with John in that car there at Famoso Drag Strip. But not the case any longer. We talk about the likes of Shane Westerfield with the Bucky Austin and O'Brien ride, and we have Plate go out there and go quickest for the Nostalgia Funny Cars with a 548 with a 5 instead of a 548 with an 8. Granted, you're certainly beginning to split the numbers there. Pair of 548 being the quickest in the class. John Capps doing it first there at the California Hot Rod Reunion Plate in the it escapes me, the car. Eddie Knox. Yes, that hot rod for Eddie Knox and Plate. They get the job done going quickest, but yet they go out round one. So the storylines in Funny Car, and remember those storylines, you can see them play out in tape-delayed fashion on the Monday Morning Racer YouTube channel. We've got full elimination coverage for Funny Car, but not just Funny Car. We've got full elimination coverage for AA Fuel Altered as well, and we also have full elimination coverage for Top Fuel. And to get the stories behind the stories that you can watch, we're going to be talking with Mike Peck here in just a moment, the owner and driver of the Instigator Nitro Funny Car out there winning the March meet. We're going to take a quick break. This word from McKinney Corp, and we will chat with Mike Peck right here on Between the Slicks.
McKinney Motorsports is your #1 source for all your chassis needs. McKinney Motorsports is the leading chassis parts supplier and fabricator in nitro drag racing. From custom tanks and fittings, full chassis builds, body mounts, steering components, fasteners, tabs, clamps, composite parts, and much more. Our household name in the racing world guarantees added performance on the track. Join our list of proven winners that spans over 50 years of racing experience.
Mike Peck, welcome to Between the Slicks. Congratulations once again on your momentous win. And as I was talking with you on the phone, I did not realize, and now apparently, as you informed me, the first win.
Yeah, it certainly was, Lee. And first and foremost, thank you so much for having me on your show. I do appreciate that very much. For our team, we've been racing Nostalgia Funny Car now for 5 years, or possibly 5 years, and it seemed like we got close to winning these one of these races. And I was on my way down to Bakersfield. I was driving down the highway thinking, gosh, dang it, we'll ever win one of these darn things. Not knowing that we would eventually win the March meet, which was an honor for us to do so because that race has so much history to it. So that it was very cool.
Very cool indeed. Very cool for me with another angle concerning Funny Car racing. So I work for Murph McKinney and handle his social media. And you have a McKinney chassis that he informed me, and you were able to round out a storyline for McKinney Corp that Chad Green wins the Gator Nationals. So does Sean Bellemere win the Gator Nationals. And then you at the March meet pick up the win in Nostalgia Nitro Funny Car competition. So Funny Car in competition, coast to coast, a McKinney wins every category. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that's a testament for the cars that Murph builds for us racers. And that my car is an older car, but the consistency the car had at that particular event, as you know, was awesome. And we couldn't expect any more out of that car. I think that, and most part of that car went down the track pretty straight every time. The only time it moved around a little bit or got a little close to the wall was in that second round. But I was able to pull it back in the middle, and away she went. So Murph builds an excellent car. Couldn't be more happy with what I got.
I love in the Nostalgia Funny Car ranks, you all still have, many of you at least, have names on your hot rods, and you've got an intriguing one, Instigator. How did that come about to put on your funny car?
There is a story about that, the Instigator, and that story goes back to my oldest son, Mike Jr. He's also driven this car on occasion, and he was an instigator amongst all his college friends of getting them to drink more alcohol. And so he kind of got the nickname, the Instigator, because he had a persuasive way about him that he could get these guys to continue drinking and get inebriated. But that's how that name came about. And it sounded pretty cool to us. So we thought, well, let's go with the Instigator. And that's kind of stuck.
Well, it is a good-looking hot rod. We've got the photos of it. Jacob, feel free to bring some back up, and we can Tristan Triac with this shot in the sun, golden hour. You got the flames with the black stripes and the white accents. The name in the lettering looks good. I mean, just a fabulous-looking funny car. It is certainly an eye-catcher out there amongst all the beautiful funny cars that are in competition within the Heritage Series and that you see show up at the March meet. I know someone mentioned on my coverage, they're like, I bought one T-shirt all weekend, and it was the Instigator T-shirt. So you also must have a good-looking T-shirt.
We do, and we actually got a new shipment of T-shirts at that race from Kevin Stitt. At Sif Printing. He does a beautiful job. The artwork they do is awesome. So we've been very happy with the T-shirts. We actually sold a large number of T-shirts at that event, which helps us out a little bit. But it's nice to see people walking around with that T-shirt on. We also, for the kids, and we love the kids, and so we discount the price of the T-shirts way down, so they're affordable for kids when they come to the races. Instead of having to pay $20 for a shirt, if I correct my wife, that'd be $10 a T-shirt. So the kids get to have a T-shirt. But the paintwork in the car is absolutely gorgeous. I take pride in bringing my car to the track in the absolutely best possible shape I can to make it look really nice, so the fans can enjoy the car as much as we do.
Well, not only the car. I mean, obviously, you've got a great looking T-shirt to sell. So many, and folks, they want to buy the winner's T-shirt, things of that nature. But the pit looked right too. I remember when you were working on the car, and I was like, okay, I need to still get a stand up in and transition to the final round. Look, there's the banner of Instigator there in the pit, and it's over the shoulder, and it was a good shot. So from car, pit, team, you've got the program moving forward in the right direction.
Yeah, we kind of like to show up with a professional touch and pride ourselves in having a good, not only a good car, but good equipment as far as the trailer, the truck, very well equipped. Yeah, so the T-shirt thing is awesome. Again, the kids is our biggest thing with the T-shirts.
All right, Mike. Before we dive in directly on the March meet and the round by round action, and we've got the videos to go along with that, and we'll take it step by step here on Between the Slicks. How did you get into drag racing?
I've been drag racing probably going on 50 years or more, to be honest with you, and kind of gives you an idea of my age. But I started actually drag racing at the age of 16 at Irwindale Raceway in Southern California. And that's where I grew up there. And my dad used to take us out there to the drags on occasion. And I ended up buying a Jeep. And then at that age, I actually ended up putting a 327 junkyard motor in and took it out to Irwindale Raceway and raced the darn thing. So that's where it started. And then eventually I progressed into bracket racing, and then went into super comp or dragster racing at the very inception of super comp racing. I did well in super comp, won a division championship with that. And then I wanted to go faster. So then Top Dragster or Top Comp came out within NHRA racing. So I decided I wanted something a little more exciting to drive. So I built a front engine car, blowing alcohol Chevrolet motor front engine car, and raced 7.0 Pro with it. We accomplished the national championship in 7.0 Pro in the year 2015 and 2016. But the part I'm most proud of is that we did that with a clutch car. And the majority of the competitors that race 7.0 Pro use a trans brake, but on the steering wheel, I use a pedal clutch. And we had great success with that car. 2012, we ran 12 races in that car and won 8 of the 12. So then after winning the championships, the position for a nitro funny car driver came up for the California Hustler, and I contacted Don Nelson and told him I had an interest in driving the car, even though I never had driven a funny car at that point. And he was kind enough to give me a shot at it. And I ran with them in that car for a full season, along with Ronnie Swearingen as a crew chief, who was a great crew chief. And then we parted ways after that first year. We agreed on both parties, and then took a year off. And my oldest son Mike and I decided that we wanted to continue funny car racing, so we ended up buying this car from the McIntyres out there in Ohio, which was a good car to begin with, and then brought the car home and took it all apart and went through everything and redid everything. And I've been working on improving the performance of the car since then, and it's a lot of work. It's actually more work than I anticipated, but you have to put the time in to get results from one of these cars.
That you do. Seems like Nitro always demands that much more attention than any other combination out there. You mentioned when I interviewed you for the win on the top end that it was a lot of work for you and your crew to get to March meet. So bring us up to speed of getting to the March meet. I certainly hope you didn't have a trip and trek like the Hiltons had just to get there with needing a brand new computer and leaving the trailer on the side of the road and all of that. So I hope it was less than that. But nonetheless, what kind of work went in to even get to Famoso Drag Strip?
Well, it starts actually back at the house. We have a shop at our house, and just getting the car loaded into the trailer and all the support equipment. And then just my wife and myself drive the rig down from Seattle down to Bakersfield. So I guess the work is driving 22 hours, and I do all the driving of the truck, and we got down to Bakersfield. The truck was, we drove through rain, so it was filthy again. So at the truck stop, I washed the truck myself and the trailer, and then headed out the track. But the preparation that goes to get to these races in the shop is monumental. and that's where the results come from. If you don't do the work, you're not gonna run hard. And then on top of that, you not blow a lot of parts up. And we've been very fortunate with our car not to have a lot of parts destruction other than some pistons here and there. So that the work all starts in the shop, and then it moves forward down to the track.
Well, you all get there, qualifying gets underway. You make the show, you make the field. Your thoughts on your qualifying efforts to get into the Good Vibrations Motorsports 68th March meet?
Okay, so we set out the time runs on Thursday. I felt I didn't want to put an additional run on the car, even though we hadn't even started the car from the shop till we got to the track. I was hoping to get a low 60 out of the car for the first qualifier, and we ended up with a 65. The car in that left lane, it actually made a move towards the center, and it caused me to short shift it to keep the car moving down the lane and to get the car into the show. So we weren't unhappy with the 65. I was hoping more for a low 60. But then at the end of the day, and when we took the car apart, I think we just lost 2 pistons, and that was about it. Everything looked beautiful on the motor. So we thought, well, we'll go back to our second qualifier, and I don't know if you want me to start into that or you want me to wait on that.
Oh, go ahead, man. Give us the full recap of what your thoughts were on qualifying.
Well, the second qualifier, we're pretty excited about that. I'm sure most of my competitors know I prefer the right lane at Bakersfield, so we're in the right lane. And the set of tires that we had on the car, they had at that point had 13 runs on them, and so I knew I was getting to the end of their life. But I was kind of hoping to get through qualifying with those tires. Well, we didn't, and on the second qualifier, as soon as I stood on it, the thing lost traction immediately, overrev the motor, 10,000 plus RPM. And when that happens, the way our car is set up, you generally going to end up with some valve damage. And in this case, we did. So got the car back, changed cylinder heads, and of course, serviced the car as we normally do. And then got it ready for the third qualifier. But at that point, I decided I'm putting new tires on the car, which we did. And then went up there and ran that 560 on a new set of tires, and we felt we were ready to compete with the rest of the group. So that's the end of the qualifying. We didn't really do much harm on that third qualifier. Again, maybe a couple of pistons, but that's about it.
Well, thank you for getting us up to speed on qualifying. We'll go ahead and dive into the action of round one, which takes place, folks, on Saturday. The last things to go down the track other than jets are the Nostalgia Funny Cars there at the March meet at Famoso Drag Strip on Saturday, being a 16-car field. Round one right here on Between the Slicks. Boom, cracking into the 50s, round one, a win over the Nitro Junkie there to start off eliminations for the Instigator in the March meet.
That was a good round, obviously, because we went into the 50s. Derek and the team are good competitors, and they run hard. We don't take any team lightly when we go to the starting line. We knew we had the ET advantage in qualifying, but you never know. Somebody can pull a number out of the bag at any time, and so we don't treat anybody lightly. The car ran meticulously perfect on that run. It went straight down the racetrack. Hit the shift point just where I wanted it, and took the win. And then, of course, we were happy to get back in the 550s. When we left the Hot Rod Reunion last year, we were into the high 550s, and we lost that third round to John Capps with a 558 with a O, which was disappointing, but they actually had the better car, obviously, even if they ran the 51, I believe. But no, the first round was awesome. It's so cool to be able to go on to racing on Sunday. The crew was really upbeat that Saturday night working on the car. We're also so very excited. So excited to be there in the first place, but then excited that we're going on to round two.
Round two at the March meet, obviously with round one being on Saturday, round two is going to take place on Sunday. As a competitor, does that present a challenge? You go into completely different circumstances concerning the track and weather. Therefore, I'm sure setup needs to be changed with the car. What are your thoughts on that? Would you prefer be able to get everything in on one day and go through the transitions of a single day, or that win and then a break almost allows you to breathe and gear back up? Where do you stand on it?
Well, I understand what you're saying, because get it all done in one day is nice, because the weather is generally fairly stable, but you don't know what you're going to get the next day. But the weather there at that particular race, and looking at the weather forecast, the weather was awesome. I mean, so the weather never really came into play for us. Obviously, we look at the weather, but I wasn't concerned about it, because it was the extended forecast looked really good. So we didn't do many changes to the car at all. We always make some sort of change to it, but not a lot. But second round, I'll go into that a little bit. We had Drew Austin, and Drew's a great driver. Pat's a great tuner, and they ran good. I mean, they ran the 560s, so we knew we had a tough race ahead of us. That was my worst round, I have to say, and I feel like I'm lucky to a certain degree, because I hate to admit it, but I definitely had a senior moment on the starting line, the worst light I've had in eons, and I just lost my concentration somehow. But Drew had a good light. He had 80 light, so he had down track. He obviously had engine issues, and the instigator didn't. And we drove right on down there. I believe there ran another 550 in the second round. So I was disappointed on myself for that, because I had such a crappy light. But fortunately, the car had the power, and Drew had some issues, so it enabled us to get past that round and go into round three.
Let's take a look at round two, that matchup with the War Racing Machine at the March meet.
260 miles an hour. Drew Austin moved big time off that starting line. Donnie Johnson flashed a tire out of that Walt Wilson Racing Mustang in 589, 224. Head back to Washington at 558.
All right, we are now looking at you going into the semifinals at the March meet. And as you said at the top of the show, hey, you know, when we're going to win one of these things, been doing this a while and putting the work in, we've got close. Is the semifinals a point in which you're like, okay, we got a shot? Like, the car's running good, 59, 58. And we've got around good competition. Yeah, we still got tough competition ahead of us, but like today might be the day. Does that start setting in around the semifinals, or until you actually won the thing, you weren't thinking that today's the day?
I have to say I wasn't, because I knew that we had a good, tough race ahead of us with Bobby, and Bobby Cottrell and I have history racing 7-0 Pro. Bobby's a great driver. We had some excellent races in 7-0 Pro. It was like tooth and tooth fighting for the championship. But no, I didn't think that. I don't try to think that far ahead. I just focus on the round ahead of me and preparing the car for that round to the best we possibly could, and make sure we got everything right. One little mistake and cost you the round. And so, you know, my family, my team, the attention to detail that they do to prepare this car for the following round is awesome. I mean, they work so hard. As you know, we're a pretty small team. There's, I think, 5 of us on this team. That'd be my daughter Natalie on the right head, and my son Parker was doing the bottom end. And then Brian, son-in-law, was doing the other cylinder head, and then we had Robbie, who was doing the clutch. So no, I don't look down the road that far. I look at the race ahead, the competitor who I'm going to be racing against, and try to prepare the car and personally myself for the next round.
Let's take a look at that semifinal matchup right now between the slicks.
Another 260-mile-an-hour run. The Instigators going to the final. Look at the high fives down there, Donnie. Bobby Cottrell up that starting line first. And then...
All right, you can never take Bobby Cottrell lightly. And folks, I hope you didn't adjust the settings on your screen. Yes, they were both orange Camaros in each lane. Sometimes when you and Bobby in that speed sport car pull up, it's like, oh, okay, Instigators here and Bobby's over here. You get the win over Bobby. And, you know, though Bobby for the last, 2 seasons hasn't been in that mean green machine of Bucky Austin and O'Brien, he is still one tough competitor, and you cannot take him lightly no matter what car he is in.
Never. He's a great driver. I have a lot of respect for his driving ability. Always have. Once again, going back to 7-0 Pro. but he's a true competitor, and but so am I, and I'm sure we both know when we go up there that we're gonna have one heck of a drag race. We got a little bit lucky there again. I think that's part of the success we had is that the car slowed down a little bit, and I knew why. But we figured that we know that happened. We go into the final round because we knew at that point we're going to be racing Nathan Sitko in the Bubble car, and they've been running really well. So we knew we had to give it everything we had, and to try and get the win against that tough team. But yeah, kudos to Bobby, good driver, good friend. So. Move on to the final round.
Into the final round, it sounds like you all had a rather smooth eliminations. It seems like you're portraying that it was rather routine. Again, I think of the Hiltons. They had nothing routine, and they're able to pick up their first March meet win. They had oil pump issues, and then gear oil out of the blower through the lights, and nicking a valve, and they seem to have everything go wrong, yet they get the win. And it's sounding like you and your gang had a routine workman type pace to the whole thing and pick up the win.
I'm not sure I would call it routine. We had our issues, but nothing major by any means. Like I said, we bent some valves, but it all goes back. And I'm not taking anything away from the Hiltons, so you're wrong, because they're a great family and they run a great car, and obviously they won 4 championships. So, but for us, or for me, it goes back to the time spent in the shop, and that time, the hours upon hours upon hours of preparing every single part for that car. There's never a time where good enough is there. That's not my vocabulary, good enough. It has to be perfect. It has to be right. So that comes into play. And when you do go arounds, the type of preparation you've given the car and all the components that are involved with it. So I know we did a routine change. We did change cylinder heads once again to a different head. But we prepped the car and the tune-up for the final round, and there we go.
We'll take a look at that final round now. .558, 268 miles per hour, 67 miles per hour, and that first win is at the big one for the Nostalgia Racers, the March meet. I'm sure, Mike, that triangular trophy along with that Diamond Wally are going to be elements of your racing career that you're going to cherish at an extremely high level.
Absolutely. And going back to that race, with Nathan. They're great competitors. His average light was in the 60s, so he's getting super good lights. So we knew we had our work cut out for us, and it was a good drag race. And I'll be honest with you, in a funny car, it's hard to see your competitor because you're tucked back in there in the back kind of ways. And at the end of the track, I wasn't sure if I had won or lost that race. I've lost races by, we lost the March meet last year, first round by 4/1000ths. We lost a race in Boise last year against Shane Westerfield and Bucky's car by 11/1000ths. These races are won and lost by close amounts, and you get off the track. I'm not sure whether I won the race or not. To be honest with you, you just don't know. And it wasn't until Nathan came over, and it kind of sounded like that maybe I won the race. But then I had my helmet on, my earplugs in, and whatever. And then you just wait for your crew to come down and see how happy they are. And that tells the story pretty much. So, no, it was an honor to win the March meet. It'll never forget the rest of my life. My family enjoyed the victory, winning the March meet, our first victory in the Celebrity Fuel Funny car, and it was a huge accomplishment for us and the team.
It is certainly a huge accomplishment. Congratulations once again, instigating yourself all the way to a March meet victory and the rest of 2026. What does it look like for you and your team? You all hail out of the Pacific Northwest. That can be a challenging place to race out of. I know, talking with Drew Austin and that camp, they're like, man, we would love to do some chaos every now and then, but from Washington all the way down to Texas or the central part of the country, it's a heck of a haul. So for the instigator camp, what other instigating are y'all going to be able to do in 2026?
Well, we plan to instigate the Heritage Series races, and we're planning to go to all of them at this point. So, fortunately enough that most of them are up here towards it, not too far from us. Go to Boise twice, go up to Edmonton, which is a bit of a drive. Spokane, Washington, which is not 4 or 5 hours for us, and then back to Bakersfield. So, we got a good start. We're number one in points right now. We are chasing the points. We are chasing the championship. We've got some tough competitors out there who want the same thing that we want, but we would continue on with the same preparation, the same team morale. We're going to be in the hunt, and we're going to give it all we got.
Mike, before we let you go, again, congratulations on this first win, a March meet win. But take the floor, give thanks to whoever you need to give thanks to, crew members, family, sponsors, and then clue us in as well on what Mike Peck does day to day.
As far as obviously my family, I already mentioned them. As far as who give me with so much support. First and foremost is my wife Wilma, and if it wasn't for her, I probably wouldn't be doing this because she loves the sport. I think so even more as much as I do, if not more. Without her, I wouldn't be doing it. She dislocated her hip joint 3 weeks before we were supposed to go to the March meet, and if that would have been not resolved, then most likely I wouldn't have gone because I won't go without her. My daughter Natalie, she's super enthusiastic on the team. My son Parker, he's my crew chief per se. My oldest son Mike, he's given me lots of support right now. Very well, he could be coming back in the driver's seat sometime. Brian, my son-in-law, he's awesome, and Clutch Guy, he did a great job too. As far as sponsors go, we don't really have we don't have a big sponsor. We do get some help from some of the manufacturers. Avius, Justin at CP Corollas helps a little bit. Manly, Turco Oil. There's quite a number of them. But we pretty much pay our way to go. I think that's pretty much it. Was there another question you had?
Yes. What do you do? You're in the automotive world, from what I understand, right?
Yeah, I own an automotive repair facility in Redmond, Washington. Been in business here for going on 38 years. Still in business. I still come to work. I work 4 days a week, 4 10s, 7:30 to 6. And then the other 3 days a week, I work in the shop on the car. So it's a busy schedule. And I do all the motor work, everything on the car myself, other than some more serious machine work. So it's a lot. And I'm not getting any younger, but I want to finish out this year and with the car, and we'll see how we go for next year. I may not drive, but I'll still be tuning and working on the car.
Well, Mike, we're certainly glad to have learned and understand that it was your first one, and it's the big one, the March meet. Congratulations once again, and I hope for you and your team that this is a breaking out moment for the Instigator, and you all are able to pick up several more Wallies over even this year and years to come. Thank you for your time here on Between the Slicks. We'll let you get back to work out there in Washington.
Just one last thing before I go.
Sure, man.
I want to thank you, Lee, and the camera people, and for coming to the March meet and doing such a great job. The video was awesome. Thank you so very much. It's so very much appreciated.
I appreciate that, and I know the guys appreciate that as well. It is an honor and privilege for myself and those individuals as well to be there and participate in something that certainly should not be excluded within the world of drag racing. It should be recognized, and it should be recognized for what it is. It is a granddaddy of them all type of event, really set a standard that we understand what national events and events that are big in the world of drag racing are to be. So March meet, it's up at the top in my mind, and you got a top one now on your resume as a winner of it, the 68th one. Again, Mike, congratulations.
Thank you so much, Lee. Truly appreciate being on the show.
Thank you. You have a good one, Mike.
Yes, well, sir.
Folks, Mike Peck, winner of the Good Vibrations Motorsports 68th March meet in Nostalgia Nitro Funny Car. Such a beautiful hot rod, and I love the name Instigator. Something I love about the nostalgia scene, you still have names on the cars, and that allows someone such as myself conducting interviews to connect these dots in interviews, and it's just more fun that way. For, I think, you all as viewers, certainly for me as someone conducting an interview on the full elimination video for Nitro Funny Car, when Mike gets out of the car and after he almost dropped the trophy but got a firm grip a hold of it, when I walk up to him, I'm able to start the statement with, Mike Peck, you have instigated, playing off Instigator, your way to a March meet victory. So yeah, we need names on cars. It just helps out. They're cool. I don't care if you have a corporate sponsor. The corporate sponsor needs to figure out and work with you with a name on your hot rod. I don't care what it is. We need it in IndyCar, NASCAR, drag racing. You know, NASCAR Cup cars have had like great chassis names, you know, or yeah, so what? It might have a number to it. Let's know the number and call it by that. Just get the name out there. It helps out so much. Again, congratulations to Mike Peck. What a tremendous win. I find it as an intriguing win as well, that it was his first one. It was the big one. And you look at the Nostalgia Nitro Funny Car ranks, and you tend to look for the victories to come out of other camps, but you got to have your eye on the Instigator for sure now, because it does tend to be that when teams break through, they learn how to win. They know then how to win that much more by getting the first one out of the way. We hope that's the case for Mike Peck and the Instigator team out of Washington. I want to say thank you again to McKinney Corp for their support covering the March meet. We also want to say thank you to Certified Services of Florida. A brief word from them with what they do, and we're so glad they partnered with us to cover the March meet. John Tillman, the owner of Certified Services, he is no stranger to funny car racing and nitro racing. He is oftentimes a nitro crew member, and he's got a nostalgia nitro funny car. We'll probably see him at March meet one day. Might need to even go find a photo of that real quick so you can see it. It is a beautiful machine. Cannot wait to see it on the track. But you need to see him concerning the management of your facility, whether that's commercial, warehouse, industrial, you name it. They are able to do it all in managing facilities, certainly in Florida and throughout the Southeast. Even the big names, such as Amazon, use them. A word for Certified Services of Florida, and then some drag racing news here on Between the Slicks. We want to thank Certified Services of Florida with partnering with Monday Morning Racer for the Nitro Funny Car coverage here from the Good Vibrations Motorsports 68th March meet. Certified Services of Florida, well, they service the state of Florida and beyond in the Southeast with everything related to your facility, from paint striping to cleaning to setting up and repair. If you need your facility handled and done so properly, you need the works of Certified Services. Even the big names such as Amazon entrusts Certified Services to maintain their facilities there in Florida and beyond. All right, I just found it. I'll bring it up, Jacob, myself, because I just uploaded it. John Tillman, Double Trouble. Look at this beautiful hot rod, gold with some white accent. It is a looker. Cannot wait to see it on track and look upon it on the track. He's working towards that, getting ever and ever closer. And hopefully we'll see him out there March meet before long with Double Trouble. I love it. Car with a good name and a good look for the Nostalgia Nitro Funny Car ranks. In drag racing news, we all are looking ahead to another great weekend of drag racing. Drag racing is at full song, and there's not going to be many breaks until we get back to the thing we call the off season, though there's really no off season, the non-racing season. And with great platforms such as the Winter Series, drag racing just continues around the year for sure. In the day and time which we live in, I don't think there's really much to complain about as a drag racing fan. There might be a few very specific items. I mean, I could take a few more throttle whacks and dry hops, but nonetheless, drag racing is happening just about everywhere all the time. You might have to go to Florida sometimes, and when it gets really hot, you might have to escape up to the north, but it is happening somewhere. Speaking of the heat, the NHRA is going to attempt to beat the heat out there in Phoenix. In fact, they are calling it Nitro and Coffee, as they have made a major adjustment to the schedule out there at Firebird Motorsports Park. They have moved up the runnings of the Nitro ranks earlier in the day for the cars out there at Firebird Motorsports Park for the Arizona Nationals. So the revised pro session start times Friday, 9:30 a.m. 9:30 a.m. I have been a part of 10 a.m. start times on Sunday with a very tight weather and TV window. I've seen that, but 9:30. My goodness, that's like calling super stock to the lanes, but it's the nitro cars. Like, y'all getting a dose of this now. Then they also are back up at noon, and then Saturday 10 a.m., 12:30. Sunday eliminations begin, as you can see, 10 a.m. Been a part of that, and those are early days. Nonetheless, they're trying to beat the heat. It's going to be scorching out there in the desert around Phoenix, Arizona. Sometimes you hit it, and depending on the time of the year and when they get out there, you have a situation where they'll get rain. Rain has come through at Firebird Motorsports Park. I've seen it, and it's delayed things. It can happen. Well, this year it's heating up quicker, and you're not going to have the comfortable, as you can have, mid 80s out there in competition. So it is going to be a toasty one. Nonetheless, there's going to be plenty of great drag racing action, and going into an event like that with the conditions the way they are going to be, we know that we're going to have an extremely hot track. And you look at qualifying 9:30 and qualifying back at noon, and then race day starting at 10 and coming back around, and the final probably wrapping up in probably the hottest part of the day, and the track going to be as hot as it possibly has been all weekend. It's going to be interesting who can get down. I assume is going to be a greasy Firebird Motorsports Park, not because of lack of prep, not because of lack of care to the track, but rather just because of that burning ball of gas radiating upon it that is up in the sky that we call the sun, heating it up to probably some of the highest levels that you're going to see throughout the year. I think that's going to be the case, at least there at Firebird Motorsports Park. It is going to be a race where the tuners are going to certainly earn their paycheck, and those drivers, no matter it being in the nitro ranks, need to be ready with a quick slap of the throttle and a pedal. Well, you might even see a pedal fest or two there at Firebird Motorsports Park this coming weekend. Pro Mod, I want to remind everybody, Pro Mod, NHRA Pro Mod, you can see more of NHRA Pro Mod for free than you ever really have in the past and live. You're going to be able to watch NHRA Pro Mod live, and you're going to be able to do it on the YouTube channel. On NHRA Pro Mod, the social media side, you have this post, and they give you the times in which you can tune in, but just be tuned in to NHRA YouTube. They are going to be streaming live round 1 of qualifying, round 3 of qualifying, and round 1 of eliminations, if I remember correctly, for NHRA Pro Mod. Then later on, you will have the TV production that you'll see on Fox Sports 1 and Fox Sports 2. I don't know if they're going to have Kyle Chris there in Phoenix or not. He was there at the Gator Nationals, and on the NHRA Pro Mod YouTube channel, search that out. Not the NHRA YouTube channel, NHRA Pro Mod YouTube channel. They had full elimination coverage shot in the way of Straight Line Media, the way in which Kyle Chris does it, and he shot that, and you can see a full elimination coverage even now on the NHRA Pro Mod YouTube channel. But for all the fans that say they want more of Pro Mod, well, you're finally getting it. So tune in and enjoy it. At the Arizona Nationals, we can clue you in on some of the competition and what is going to be taking place. You're seeing odds here for Play NHRA. Sean Langdon there at the top, Matt Hagan, Greg Anderson. What would you do with your money? Who would you put your money on? I like that Justin Ashley pick there in Top Fuel. I think that would be a good one to go with. Austin Prock is still pretty high up there in the ranks. Nonetheless, I would be looking elsewhere in the field and putting my money on, let's say, maybe Alexis Jajoria, for example. Greg Anderson, well, I think that's a easy bet. might be time to put some money on Erica. You never know. They do pretty good out west. Might be time. Where are you going to put your money in play NHRA? Who are you going to put it on? We have competitor news that Matt Hagan, as mentioned there in the odds and showcase, he's going to be in the Johnson Horsepower Garage Nitro Funny Car out there at the Arizona Nationals. Here's a rendering look for you. And Leah Pruitt is going to have a different color scheme. They routinely show different schemes throughout the year, and the Race Rudin Foundation, RR, they're going to be on the car, that striking yellow and blue out there at the Arizona Nationals. I don't have the image uploaded. Want to make mention again, though, that Travis Shoemake, he is going to be making a Nostalgia Funny Car debut there at the Arizona Nationals. Travis was on Dujanay Bland's show, the Not Bland Show, Tuesday, but you can catch it still on the Not Bland Show YouTube channel or Facebook page. So swing by, take a look. You can see it there, the Not Bland Show. Just search that on YouTube, and you can listen to that fine interview with Travis Shoemake that took place earlier this week. He is making a Nostalgia Funny Car debut this weekend there at Firebird Motorsports Park. Buddy Hull, the big fire that he had at Gainesville Raceway for the Gator Nationals, that has put a pause on his program for just a moment. He is going to sit out the Firebird Arizona Nationals and get this hot rod back in the shape that it needs to be in to fully go race. I don't think people realize when you have, this massive explosion and blow the body up, that's one thing. And there's certainly a lot of work that has to be done to get a funny car back on track when that takes place. But a fire is just as damaging, if not more. There's so much work that goes into these hot rods on the wiring and the plumbing side of it. They've got to strip it down and rebuild that car. And that is what they are doing. You can see photos on Buddy Hull's social media. Buddy Hull, just search that. You'll find the page, and the car is stripped back down, and they got to rebuild that thing to go back out and race. Not sure when we will see him back in competition, but a big blow for him starting out again with his own program, Hull Racing, now in Nitro Funny Car. A name that you're going to be familiar with the coverage that was on Monday Morning Racer with the Good Vibrations Motorsports 68th March meet, Dylan Winevsky. You can see him here. He's got a great relationship with Lowe's. No telling what that may come to. He's actually on the thumbnail of the fuel-altered full elimination coverage. He was in Johnny West's Plan A hot rod, took it to a final round. Sadly, he wasn't able to make the call for the final round. They had mechanical issues that gave Brandon Serafine the win with a competition single in the final there at the March meet. He's no stranger to fuel-altered racing. He's no stranger to the big show, making a debut there at the Arizona Nationals in that hot rod. And he is going to be doing so wearing and sporting a Taylor Motorsports product fire suit. We're going to take the time and give a plug for the support of Taylor Motorsports products. They supported us in particular with the fuel-altered coverage. A word from them here on Between the Slicks. Folks, if you need safety products in motorsports, drag racing and beyond, to the likes of tractor pulling, you need to look at Taylor Motorsports products. Dylan Winevsky, you've got a nice new shiny Taylor Motorsports products fire suit. How's that fit, man?
It's nice, comfortable. It's really breathable. Breathable. It's real flexible, and it's a great fit.
It's a great fit for Dylan right here in the altered. It's also a great fit for him in the big show flopper. Taylor Motorsports Products for things right here at March Meet all the way to the NHRA Big Show and beyond, like in the tractor pulling. If you need motorsports products, Taylor Motorsports Products, that's where you need to get it from. Rolling on the news concerning drag racing this weekend, well, the IHRA, they already had cars on track this day. You've got the IHRA Outlaw Nitro Series there in Benson, Dunn, North Carolina, at the track formerly known as Galat Motorsports Park, now Durana Motorsports Park. The racing action already underway today. There were eliminations for several classes, and you have, as I was watching the live stream earlier today, a matchup took place that was very cool to see. Two of the best out there, one that he certainly is having the most fun of anyone out there, and then the other, an immense competitor, an individual that owns and competes in the winningest car in NHRA history. Now, that car is not the one that he is in, but you can see with the wheel stand, Dan Fletcher behind the wheel, one of the greatest of all time. And in the foreground, in the taxi cab, someone who is certainly no stranger to winning. He actually won class at the Baby Gators. I'm not sure what he did at the Gator Nationals, but he won class the Baby Gators, if I remember correctly. He's no stranger to winning, as I said. He in the taxi cab, McNeil Freeman. He knows how to have fun. He's having a lot of fun drag racing. What a great matchup. The taxi cab against the Camaro. And Dan Fletcher did get the best of that matchup in eliminations already today in the International Hot Rod Association there at Durana Motorsports Park, Benson, North Carolina. An interesting story with McNeil Freeman. I am working for Warren Evans, and the fling is about to take place. The big money bracket race at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, the strip at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. It comes to elimination day. We're thinking, like, what are some cool things we can do coverage wise? It's a little different, and then with the liberty that we have putting on the stream and it being the flings, McNeil Freeman is there and he's competing. He won like a free entry or something like that. So he's there, he's competing. We're like, you know what? He's got a taxi cab. Like, I wonder if the back doors work. Well, guess what, folks? The back doors of that taxi cab do work. So they decide, with me operating the mobile camera, the one that was on the starting line that could move around freely, hey, Lee, get in the back of the taxi cab and let's go down the strip in a taxi cab. And everybody's like, well, he can't go down the track. But I tell you what he can do. How about we let him roll with McNeil Freeman through the water box, let the burnout be conducted, and then I hop out. And that's exactly what we did. So I may be one of the only people to have rode with McNeil Freeman through the staging lanes, underneath the arch there at the strip at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, through the water box, and with him conducting the burnout. Before I hop out, well, it was a taxi cab, so I did slip him a 20, got that on camera, and shut the door, and McNeil Freeman went on, I believe, to a round win there in first rounds of eliminations, maybe 3 years ago now, at the Fling out there in Las Vegas. So that's my cool McNeil Freeman story. If you ever get a chance to chat with McNeil Freeman, such a cool dude. And Dan Fletcher, one of my earliest interviews on Between the Slicks, goes way back. If you don't know who Dan Fletcher is, you don't know drag racing. Just saying, you don't. And you really need to learn more. Go learn about Dan Fletcher. So IHRA is already underway. We have the schedule here uploaded. You can take a look at it, and really the schedule with the International Hot Rod Association, it is one, and I'm just showcasing it here so you could go find it. So on IHRA Facebook, and in particular, there is a page now that is IHRA Outlaw Nitro Series. If you're not following it, go follow it. There will be regular posts on both of them, but if you want to know the drag racing side of things, this is it. There is this schedule posted. I'm sure there will be changes. I'm sure they'll have to make adjustments, but here is the outline for the weekend. Tomorrow, and it is my plan to be there, though I'm behind schedule and I need to hit the road soon, I plan on being there, and you will see coverage from the first race of the International Hot Rod Association Outlaw Nitro Series 2026 as a kickoff, as a fire up a championship season in 2026. Then the payouts. The IHRA, as you can see, that's posted here freely. I like how they do that. They post the payouts. You know what these guys are going to be having at the end of the day, round by round. You see what the winner gets. You see what runner-up gets. You see what qualifying money is. I like that. When was the last time you saw a post like this from the National Hot Rod Association? Yeah, you can find posts, but not this simple. They're kind of buried in an article. I like the transparency, the disclosure here of what these teams are going to be earning. And this is not even mentioning the Triple Crown possibilities of $1 million there, and then bigger purses in those three events taking place later on this year, with the first one being at Maple Grove Raceway there in Pennsylvania. The Triple Crowns are certainly going to be fascinating. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in right here on Between the Slicks. And I appreciate you tuning in. Hit the like button, hit the share button. Thank you. Before we leave, I think there was, Randy Johnson. He did ask, hope you're still hanging in there, Randy. Did it finally warm up? It did finally warm up in Tennessee. Got a beautiful day here, and we are going to have, I think, a beautiful weekend over there in North Carolina. Looking forward to getting over to the racing facility formerly known as Galat Motorsports Park that is Durana Raceway. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. Once again, congratulations to Mike Peck. Thank you, Mike, for your time. This, the 195th installment of Between the Slicks. We wrap up our March meet coverage of the Good Vibrations Motorsports 68th March meet at Famoso Dragway. Once again, let me remind you, you can watch full elimination videos on the Monday Morning Racer YouTube channel for Nitro Funny Car, for Fuel Altered, and for Top Fuel Eliminator. You can see all that action on the Monday Morning Racer YouTube channel. Thank you to Tristan Triac, Jacob McLeod, and also Kellen Kennedy, who did the editing work, for all their hard work in putting it all together for the Monday Morning Racer platform. I'm Lee Kraft, the Monday Morning Racer. You've been watching Between the Slicks. We'll be live again before long. Be sure to catch the Competition Plus Power Hour on Tuesday nights on Competition Plus, and check out the Not Bland Show, my co-host there with the Not Bland Show, Mr. Dujanay Bland. By the way, don't forget, Southeast Gassers Association action is drawing ever closer, and you can catch Sega live right here and on the Sega YouTube channel every other Wednesday. You know, basically, this is how you can kind of remember it. If you're watching the Alan Reinhart show, the very next week you can watch Sega live. I hope it keeps working out that way as we go through the season. It's worked out really well. We'll see if it continues to do so. We'll make adjustments as needed. I'm sure it's going to happen. But you can catch a lot of great live content right now. And also looking forward to first season of Chaos. That's coming up not this weekend, but the weekend after this one. I'll go from North Carolina to cover the International Hot Rod Association, and then beyond, Tulsa time out there at Tulsa Raceway Park for the first Funny Car Chaos race of the season. To you all, thank you. God bless, and keep the pedal to the metal.
Nitro. Dove Fuels is your source for nitromethane, Top Fuel Harleys, Nitro Funny Cars, Fuel Altereds, and more. If it burns nitro, fly right with Dove Fuels. From a drop, drum, or supplying an entire nitromethane burning series, Dove Fuels is able to supply while also being on location to serve. We are also an official Driven Racing Oils distributor with a full line of products to accompany nitromethane sales. For all your motorsports endeavors on nitro, get wings with Dove Fuels.